Alright, so boom, several people have reached out to me and asked me about this Cardi B situation regarding her drugging and robbing men, perhaps even raping men. And initially, I wasn't going to say anything about it because this was stemming from an IG live video she did 3 years ago. However, given she is indeed from the Bronx, she's guilty for whatever allegations stand against her. You can't be from the Bronx and expect somebody to come to your defense. Put her in prison!
So for a bitch to say that I'm the motherfucking deserve it because I don't put in no fucking work. Now that's when I feel like niggas is bugging. Cause I did it myself. Niggas must have forgot, my nigga, the shit that I did to motherfucking survive. Like, I had to go straight. I had to go, oh yeah, you wanna fuck me? Yeah, let's go to this hotel. And I drop niggas up and I rob them. That's what I used to do. Nothing was motherfucking happening to me, my nigga. Nothing.
But in all honesty, let's just break down exactly what's transpiring here. So if you were unaware of what transpired, you had a video of Cardi B come up from 3 years ago in which she was on Instagram Live talking about how she used to drug and rape men who willingly wanted to pay to engage in cordial activity with her. So rather than deny said payments, she would agree, have them come to her location, or she goes to their location, drug them prior to engaging in cordial activity, taking their money and leaving. And they wake up not knowing what happened. Then initially we were under the assumption that it was only drugging and robbing men until a few days ago Cardi B put on her Instagram story that stop comparing me to Bill Cosby, it's not rape if they get hard. Basically meaning if they get an erection, it's not considered rape because it appears that they are sexually stimulated to where they can keep an erection and they're hard.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Tell me I did not just see that.
That's a completely assa 7, assa 8, assa 9 statement. However, unfortunately, I was unable to retrieve said screenshot of her Instagram story prior to her deleting it. However, there was a couple of articles in which they published what it is that she said with quotations. However, I don't know the validity of said statement, so I can only go off of what it is that I saw. If it is indeed false news and incorrect, feel free to tell me in the comment section. I'm saying this particular part with a grain of salt. However, we can pretty much come to a consensus that what is indeed true, 100% fact, is indeed that she did drug and rob men of their money. Now, we have seen constant people come to her defense saying, well, they would be soliciting a prostitute if that was indeed the case. If they're going to pay for cordial activity, then that's illegal in the United States. Well, by that same logic, her receiving the money would be illegal as well. So if we let's just say those two cancel out. Now you have the drugging and the robbing of the individual. First, you drug somebody, that's a crime. Then you rob somebody, that's a crime. So you mean to tell me we're going to bypass that under the grounds of, poor her, she had a hard life?
From me to you, go fuck yourself.
Fellas, I want you to take heed of what you see right here, because let's just look at some of the men over the course of the past 3 years who have been dragged in the media. Versus, you have somebody like Cardi B in a situation like this. If you were to switch the genders, this would be #1 news, #1 headline. In fact, this should have been #1 headline, but unfortunately, 2 days ago, Nipsey Hussle, a rapper, happened to get murdered and slaughtered in front of his, his place of, he was selling merchandise. I believe it was his store, and he got killed there. So obviously, that's going to take precedent when we talk about news in hip hop. However, this Cardi B situation, I believe, whatever the hell they said that she did, and she incriminated herself because she did indeed say it was factual that she did drug and rob these people. Whatever cancel culture is out there, they need to head in her direction. Cardi B says, hey, I did this and it was years ago and poor me, this is what I had to do to survive. First off, I always hate when individuals say This is what they had to do to survive, as if they didn't have any other option. Stripping, I would highly doubt somebody was in a situation in which it was stripping or nothing. I'd highly doubt that was the case, because you have convicted felons who are able to get a job somewhere. You have individuals who are completely twisted in the mind, who, they have no business being in certain places, and they work there. Why? How do I know? When I worked at the airport, I worked with convicted felons before. I've worked with some people who have several charges against their name. I've worked with people who were pretty much homeless. I've worked with people. You can get hired anywhere, all right? Maybe you're just not looking hard enough, or maybe it's going to be kind of hard to get one, but it's going to take some time, and you will indeed get there. Now, when we talk about this, what you had to do to survive, you mean to tell me you had to drug and rob somebody to survive when they were already going to pay you for the criminal activity? That makes no sense. All right. More importantly, this is the same lady who got on Instagram Live, because it appears that she happens to incriminate herself a lot when she gets on Instagram Live. All right. She got on there and said, well, if her boyfriend at the time, or I should say her husband now, what was his name? Offset, said, well, if he were to cheat on her, unfortunately he did, but she said, well, we'll have a threesome, and it's going to be with a transgender woman, and she's not going to tell him. So wait a minute.
If a nigga cheat on me, I'll be like, alright, I'm gonna take him out, we're gonna get drunk, I'm gonna get him all perked up and everything, we're gonna have a good time, get him super twisted, then bring a bitch around, we're gonna have a threesome, and when he wake up, he gonna be like, what the fuck? Yeah, because the bitch was a tranny. I'm be like, yup, we had a threesome with a tranny. Yup, a tranny suck your dick. You don't gotta fuck another nigga to get even, bitch. There's other ways to get even.
Man, you corny!
You mean to tell me you're going to sexually assault this man? And this happened on IG Live, and of course the LGBTAUZZ all showed up, and they were, hey, we're going to cancel you, all this other. And did she, apologize in a very roundabout way that she did it? And then it's oh yeah, you apologize, all is forgiven, I'm trans. And then now they're back in her corner. But in this situation, this is on a much more catastrophic case, because we're talking about drugging and robbing people, in which those are both crimes. Do we see the cancel culture coming around? No, people aren't really talking about it. They're saying, well, you know what, that was in the past. She came from hard times. She's since changed her life. Well, if that's indeed the case, we need to hold everybody to that standard. And when we judge men, that needs to be the case as well. Because if you haven't taken an opportunity to really analyze how we judge things in life, in America, you can see men are inherently judged as guilty off the rip. All right. We're in a situation in which we have to prove our innocence. Before, I used to think it was innocent until proven guilty. No, if you're a man, you're guilty until proven innocent. When you're a woman, well, you're innocent until proven guilty, because we play the sympathy card on the surface level. And I tell men this all the time. We're judged to a completely different standard. This sort of situation in which female privilege takes precedence, because she's able to go and say all this other stuff. So she put a very, terrible backhanded sort of apology that she put on her Instagram, and which she deleted as well. It appears that whenever this lady decides, hey, I want to go and, apologize for something, you delete it. It makes no sense, because people are going to screenshot it. Unfortunately, I wasn't unable to get that screenshot of her story. But with her apology, it was a very backhanded sort of, a deflection sort of situation. She had the Captain America shield on while the people were telling, hey, apologize for your actions. No, I'm going to take a little bit of responsibility, but say, hey, you got rappers out here who's talking about killing and murdering. Ain't nobody going after them. So that makes you right. This is the situation that we're in. But make a long story short, I would like to see some form of, as Topa would say, justice going in the direction of Cardi B. So I'd like to see that cancel culture head over. I'd like to see shows canceled. We just saw this lady get a Grammy simply months after this whole transphobic sort of situation. It seems like whatever comes out of her mouth happens to be toxicity. Toxicity? Did I pronounce that? Toxic? Let's just say toxic. It's very toxic. No Britney Spears. All right. So somebody needs to do something. And I would love to see every single one of those men that were indeed drugged and robbed come forward. You got my 100% support. Why? Because we live in an age in which believe survivors, whether they lying or not. So basically, I got 100% support behind those men, because that's the way you want us to look at things, right, society? So that's exactly what's going to transpire. If you're going to take down men for something, you might as well take down women. If we're going to call it down the middle, that's what we really need to do. So I'd love to see all of these shows. The View, they better be talking about it. The Real, they better be talking about it. The Talk, they better be talking about it. All those, daytime, women's media, all that. I'd love to see this at the forefront, because when the stuff came out with Cosby, when the stuff came out with all these other men, they were at the top of the news. Wendy Williams, top of the news. It's about time somebody done put the shoe on the other foot and we start talking about it. But until then, let me know in the comment section what you think about this entire Cardi B sort of situation. Because initially, like I said earlier, I wasn't going to say anything about it. But because of what was, at stake here regarding, dealing with men here being the victims, it is imperative that men, we stand together and stand firm and call out when it is the other sex, the women, who do wrong. Because we always give them a pass and play the sympathy card. I say no more. So let me know if you agree that she should be dragged and possibly incarcerated. Or do you think, it was in the past, no harm, no foul? Or if you're completely indifferent about the situation and don't really care, let me know in the comment section. Let's have some dialogue on it.